Who'd have thought that the cinematic universe that Warner Brothers got correctly would be the Conjuring cinematic universe? Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is our post-Geekout reaction for Annabelle Creation. The prequel to the Conjuring films. And they got another one on the way, by the way. Oh my god. Okay. I will go ahead and let you guys know right now. Well, first off, for anybody who has not seen a post-Geekout reaction before, this is not a review. I do have a review of this coming out tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I don't know if I ever get any of these videos out on time, but I do have an actual review coming out tomorrow, and for anybody who is wondering what the difference is, in the review I sit down and I think of everything that I want to say, and I type it all out, and I record, and I edit, I make sure that there are no spoilers. In the post-Geekout reaction, full spoilers, because it is just our open, honest discussion about the thing that we just watched. And there are some spoilery-ass things in this Annabelle film, which I was not expecting to say. And one of the reasons I was not expecting to say that was because I will go ahead and let you guys know, even though I am a big horror junkie, and I love The Conjuring, and really like The Conjuring 2, I did not see Annabelle, because even people I know who love to watch bad horror films, even they were telling me, nah dude, you don't want no part of this. Like, everyone was telling me, stay the fuck away from this. And this was back before I was actually reviewing films for a living. So I was like, I have no reason to watch this. I will lose money for a thing that people told me don't watch. So I'm not doing it. So yeah, I have never seen the original Annabelle. And that does kind of play a factor, because at the end of this film, I'm just going straight into the spoilers, at the end of this film, it goes right into the beginning of the first Annabelle film. And I was sitting there at the end kind of like, I'm sure this probably means something to somebody. Like literally the last 5 minutes of this film are just, and here's how we get to that point. So the last 5 minutes of this film, I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't at all. And the weird thing is, no one liked the original Annabelle film. Like even like those die-hard horror junkies who like everything they will watch. Even they, like I said, I know those people, and they were like, yeah, fuck this movie. Like, they were like, this thing is stupid. It's dumb. No one enjoyed it. So it just seems so odd to me that, like, typically when you have a situation like that, the studio will be like, well, we made enough money to make another one, so let's see if we can win that audience back with some trust. But I know, sweep that previous film under the rug. The end of this one's like, no, goddammit, we have a pattern. We have sat down and Kevin Feige style planned out this entire cinematic universe. Because there is a cinematic universe they have planned. This was not The Conjuring, and then they went, hey, let's do a spin-off thing with Annabelle. Because in this one, there's literally a moment where this nun, who, for the majority of this film, I kept thinking, oh my god, she is an awful, awful actress. And then she showed this guy a photo of her old, I don't know where, like, nuns go to train. Parish, is that what it's called? Like, what's those facilities called where they go? I don't know. I'm sorry. You're the religious one. You should know this.
Yeah, I'm not a nun, though. I don't know what the hell those things are called.
You know.
Nun school?
Yeah. She showed her a picture of her friends from nun camp, and he goes, oh, these four, oh, I trained with them in Romania. I went, oh, she's Romanian. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I thought she just couldn't act at all, because, like, it sounded like every single word she was saying, like, the inflection was totally in the wrong place. I was like, oh, that's an accent! Oh! Woo! Okay. Alright. You're fine, you're fine. You do what you gotta do. But she goes, yeah, and I trained with these four, and we were the best of friends. And then just goes, who's the fifth nun? And then she looks at A, turns it slightly, and just by turning it slightly, a total fifth face appears in the shadows. Like, I mean, it's literally like one of those holograms.
I was gonna say, like, one of those holograms that, like, wiggle and everything.
It totally was like that, except that was like, total darkness, turns it slightly, full-blown white face in the darkness, and he goes, I don't know. And it's like, you've had this fucking picture forever, and you mean to tell me you never once turned it in the correct direction to see the weird fifth face in there? What? Get the fuck out of here. But I kept thinking, well, that's gotta come back somewhere, although it's weird that she moved into this haunted house and the photo she brought with her was haunted as well. That's odd, but I guess it's gonna have to come. And then it never came up. And then I kept thinking, oh my god, is that going to be the next movie? Are you actually now full-blown cinematic universing The Conjuring, and you're gonna make different films and they all just kind of connect back to that weird like museum of horrors that the Warrens had in the original Conjuring? And there's a mid-credit sequence in this one, and all it is it's the Annabelle doll sitting by itself in the room, and like the camera just slowly zooms to it and stops. And I watched everyone in that audience who was getting up to leave just stop and stare at us. Like everyone knew what it was gonna do. Everyone knew it was going to suddenly just go. Like everyone knew, but we all just sat there waiting and waiting and waiting. And man, I almost have to give them credit on this one. Thank you, motorcycles. I almost have to give them credit on this one, because like I said, we all knew it was going to do that. They must have known we all knew it was going to do it, because it sat there for... And then like, it barely budged, and like, I did not fucking exaggerate with that. Like, it was that, like, it was long enough that the people in the audience went, so is it gonna fuck? Like, I heard people going, like, I literally heard people go, so is it not doing anything? Like, it was enough time that they knew this is the amount of time they expect to wait for this. Keep going. Double it. Triple it. So I kind of got applauded for that. But that's the mid-credit sequence. So I was like, alright, no way is there a post-credit scene if they give us the mid-credit scene. What is this, a Marvel film? Apparently they want to be, because then I got up to leave, but I don't know why. I was standing in the aisle, like, right there at the door, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm seeing, like, the soundtrack come up, alright, I might as well stay for the final credits. And then, yeah, it says the name of the place where she studied at. It says 1952, which I don't even know when any of these things are fucking set, because I thought this one was in, like, the 30s, but then it goes to, like, 12 years later at the end to match into the first Annabelle film, and then I was thinking, like, wait a minute, The Conjuring was set in the 70s, so does that mean that the Warrens got this thing in, like, wait, hold on, when did this happen? So maybe I'm totally misread. Maybe it was not set in the 30s at all. Maybe, like, I thought that's when they said it was, but there is a girl who is suffering from polio, and I thought we pretty much had that wiped out by the 50s, so I'm assuming this had to be before the 50s. But yeah, so it just comes to that, it says 1952, and it's just a long-ass hallway with some candles, and then one by one the candles start going out, coming up to you, and then you see this spooky-ass nun walk up with a big white face, and I was like, that's the fucking ghost nun that Lorraine Warren saw in, I think, the first Conjuring? Which Conjurings have you seen? You saw the second one with me, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think I saw the first one, though.
Okay, but do you remember a creepy-ass nun ghost in the second one? Because I can't remember which one it popped up in. But for anybody who's seen the Conjuring films, you remember there was, like, some moment where Lorraine Warren...
Yeah, I think I remember seeing
Yeah, I think it was the second one, I want to say. Which would honestly make sense, because that one came out after the first Annabelle film, so it seems like that was the moment in which they went, oh shit, we can Marvel this motherfucker. We put Annabelle in the first one, you gotta give us a new monster to make a movie about this time. Which, by the way, I gotta say, I'm kind of pissed at them for doing this, because, but yeah, so in other words, that's gonna be the next thing. It's gonna be Spooky Nun Ghost of the Nun School. Spooky Nun School Ghost, 2018. Go on IMDb right now. Untitled Spooky Nun Ghost movie. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed at them for doing this, because I'm currently working on a video. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, you know that I'm working on a new editorials, and the topic of it is going to be how I would do the Universal Monster shared universe thing, because they've tried to do that 3 fucking times now. They tried to do it with the Wolfman starring Benicio del Toro, that flopped. They tried doing it with Dracula Unbound, that flopped. They tried doing it with Mummy, that one really flopped, except overseas, so this one might continue. But yeah, I decided, you know what, I'm going to make a video talking about how I would do the Universal Monsters shared cinematic universe. Just make it low budget horror. Then there's not a lot to gamble. No one is doing shared cinematic universe horror films.
Until
The moment that I saw that, I went, God damn it. Like, I almost threw my hat on the ground. I was like, fuck. Someone has beat me to this thing, and it's fucking Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, the people who have fucked up the DC Cinematic Universe, which should be the easiest goddamn thing on the planet. And they're doing it correctly with the horror thing, which is experimental and no one's ever tried. This is fucking impressive. Although I will say, they don't have a clean track record on that, because as I said, I have not seen the first Annabelle film because everyone warned me stay away. Jesus, how long have I been going? I went 10 minutes just on that intro there. And I haven't even really talked about this film. I haven't talked about the weird secret ending to this film before actually talking about the film. So this film, it's about this, it starts off with this guy who is a doll maker. And he's the dad, who is played by, I want to make sure that I get this guy's name correctly. He's played by Anthony LaPaglia. LaPaglia. I got it right. Yay! He's played by Anthony LaPaglia, who honestly looks like if you put Bill Paxton, Martin Sheen, and Liam Neeson all in like that fly teleporter machine, and this is what came out in the end. Because yeah, it is like, just like that photograph, you turn him a certain way. He's like, I didn't know they got Bill Paxton for this film. Wait, now it's Martin Sheen. He started talking, it's Liam Neeson. It is so freaking weird how much he looks like just an amalgamation of all those guys. But he is a doll maker, and he lives way out in the countryside. Like, I grew up way out in the countryside. These guys are further out than I ever was. Like, it is back in, like I said, the 1930s. They are way out there. Like, the only time you see any other sign of civilization is when they actually drive to church. And even then, it is a long-ass dirt road. But they have this little girl, and they love her so much. She's so sweet. Her name is Annabelle, and they like to tickle her and make dolls for her and do all these things and play the record for her. Oh, they're the best of friends forever. It's the 1930s. They didn't have a lot of shit they could do back then. But one day, she dies, and she dies in a way that I don't want to say it was funny, but it was like, what the fuck? like
unintentionally funny?
No, it was unintentionally funny in that it was just so like, I can't believe it was just that easy. Wow. Because it's like, you think, okay, she's going to become like a haunted monster or something. It's got to be like some kind of like a virus or something, like some kind of like real weird, oh, if only we could do something for her kind of a thing where like, you see her like fading away and the parents are like, no, or something like that. It's literally, they're just waiting on the side of the road as the dad's trying to fix a tire, and then the mom goes, oh, here comes a car. Hey, let me try and hail it down. And then the dad like pops the tire off as the car's coming, a screw falls right in the middle of the road, and the girl goes, I'll get it.
And the car hits.
And here's the thing, there is no music or anything at that moment, just like, you know the car's coming, you see it coming, there is no music or anything to this, no even like dramatic like camera angles, it just shows like, if this is the frame of the movie that we're watching, here's the road coming down here, car's right here, car coming in, oh, I'll get it, walk, bam, and it's like, seriously, it was just so like jarring in the way that I was like, this was not shot like how a kid dies in a movie. Like, when a kid dies in a movie, it's like, oh my god, like, you know, dramatic camera angles, dramatic music. This was really just like, the fuck? Like, it was almost like when you watch like one of those, the best thing I can kind of compare to is when you watch like a YouTube video of someone getting hurt unintentionally, like just someone in a crowd holding a camera, and like you see like at a concert someone will get hit by something big or something, it's like, holy shit, didn't see that coming. Like, yeah, this is a shot like you just set up a camera and just walked away from it and this just happened to happen there. It's like, I'm not saying it's funny when stuff like that happens, it's just one of those things that's so jarring, you were just like, what? That isn't how you do that in a film. So yeah, it was
maybe
so weird.
they were trying to film it like it was a 1930s, like...
Well, no, I think that's exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to make it jarring. And it was. Like I said, it's one of the most memorable things about this film, because it was like, that's not how you shoot a child death. That's a sentence I didn't expect to say. So yeah, this guy, which by the way, I should go ahead and point out, the director of this film is going to direct the Shazam movie. Odd choice, but I will say, this is one of the first things he's ever done. Like, he's only done like one other movie before this, and this is the first thing I've seen from him. It's pretty damn good. I gotta give it to him. This guy's a pretty damn good horror director. Not who I would have picked for the Shazam movie. But hey, he's got talent. And also, I do always have to remind myself, Sam Raimi was known for making the Evil Dead films, and he did a damn good Spider-Man film. So, hey, man, maybe horror does lead into superheroes. So basically, their child dies, and then it cuts to 12 years later. Oddly enough, 12-year time skips happen twice in this film. But they do this 12-year time jump, and then it cuts to the 6 girls from an orphanage, and the bus is driving them up, and they've got the nun there and an old Irish priest, and they drop them off at their house. And they're like, yeah, well, they used to have a daughter, she's not with them anymore. You're not going to see the mom much anymore. She was in an accident, so she never really leaves her bed. But they've decided to take us in and make this the new orphanage. And it is eventually explained, but for the vast majority of this film, I kept thinking, it's like, alright, these parents know that they have a ghost doll living in the attic. Why the fuck did they decide to turn their house into an orphanage? Like, I kept honestly thinking, it's like, there's gotta be some twist where they're trying to bring their daughter back and it's revealed they need like 6 child sacrifices or something like that. It's like, no, that's never it at all. How much time we got? Okay, we're doing fine. But yeah, so these kids move in, and the main one who we're following is this little girl who, as I said, she's suffering from polio. So at the beginning of the film, she was walking with a brace on her leg, and she has one cane. And she is like the best friends with this other girl. And I have to kind of criticize the film here, because the child actors in here, it's not that they're not bad, they're just not really given anything good. Like, there's the 2 main girls we follow.
Yeah.
The girl with the polio and her best friend. And the girl with polio, she's written a little bit too much, like, overly serious.
Oh.
Like, oh, something is wrong with this house. It's targeting me because I'm the weakest. And I was like, oh god, I just realized I'm gonna have to bump up the audio in that segment so high because I was whispering so hard. I hate editing these videos. But then like her friend is played to be just so overly cutesy. I'm like, you're leaning on way too thick. And then there are the 2 older girls who are like teenagers at the orphanage, and they are just complete, like, the most stereotypical, like, catty, bitchy girls. Like, yeah, they are just super stereotypical. And then the 2 middle girls are non-fucking existent in this film. Non-existent. Like, I don't even, like, you could take those 2 out of this film, would not change a damn thing at all. Like, out of the 2 middle girls, there's one who gets a few lines, but they're typically like, what do you mean? Where'd they go? Like, literally, it's just because they're like, shit, we have to have somebody ask this so that the other character has an excuse to explain. Like, that's the only reason she's there. But the other middle girl, she will, like, disappear for large segments of this film. Like, the other one is at least there so that she can ask, like, so are we going to do this? So that someone can explain it. The other one, like, I seriously kept forgetting she was in this movie. Like, when she popped up, I was like, where the fuck have you been? Like, were you in this scene? Like, she will be in scenes, and I will not notice her until the end of the scene. Because I don't think she even talks in this film. She does that little.
Like, I know this, like, these, like, stories are, like, supposed to be, like, based off, like, real events and stuff. Sort of, so it's like, were there 6 orphans, or?
No, this is not based at all. Let me go ahead and say it. The Warrens, who were the exorcists in the Conjuring films, they were actual people.
Yeah, I know that. And I know the doll was real.
There was a creepy ass doll in their collection. Everything in these films is made the fuck up. Like,
okay.
The first Conjuring film was based on an actual case that the Warrens did.
Right.
And they did have a creepy ass doll in their collection. There is no stories behind that creepy ass doll at all. Chucky is just as real as that creepy ass doll. Okay? So yeah, this total made up gobbledygook.
Okay.
Right, so the whole orphanage thing, not all. But the kids have to go and they live at this guy's house where the wife, she is just in bed. All you ever hear is that occasionally she rings a bell and he has to go and answer. And the dad this film is unintentionally funny with one thing. Like, there is one thing that just kept making the audience laugh. The dad just walks around like he's the serial killer at all times. Like, there is a moment in which, like, four of the girls, like, the two oldest and the two middle girls, are all sitting in a room and they're giggling and laughing as they're looking at a magazine with boys and, oh my goodness, ah! And then the dad just walks through the door and he's holding a hammer in his hand and just says to her, walks away. I was like, were you trying to make us think he was going into somebody and just start beating their heads in with a hammer? And he does it a second time in this film. Not to them, but to the two, like, regular girls, like the two main girls we're following. He just walks in, just kind of stands there. Like, it looks like at any moment he's about to just burst in and go, hey, you better not be getting into trouble. Like, he never says it, but that's the look on his face. You rang. Like,
maybe it would have not have been so silly if he actually like did talk or something, or
he
like
does talk, but it's in that in those particular moments where it's like he just stands there and fucking stares around, and it's like, are we supposed, like, seriously? It makes you think that the director had to have wanted you to think he was gonna be the serial killer.
Like a red herring.
Yeah, like, I guess. But we all know, yeah, it's a creepy ass doll, man. It's not like if you had no idea what Annabelle was at all, and you somehow closed your eyes when the title came up that said Annabelle Creation, then I could see you watching this film thinking, oh, this is gonna be a film about a serial killer who, like, he adopted 6 girls because he's missing his own daughter, and he goes crazy when they're not his daughter and starts killing them. It's like, but we all know that's not what this is. So not a single person in the audience believed it. Instead, we all just like, what the fuck is his deal? Why is he doing this? But yeah, so I will say another like minor complaint in this film is that they set up everything that's going to be a scare in this film. And I don't particularly mean like, you know, they'll have that big empty space behind the character's head where it's like, you know, character's up here, it's like there's a big empty space here, it's like, oh, something's gonna pop up over there. I do that a few times, but they're actually not that bad about it. In fact, oftentimes it's pretty effective when they do that stuff. But I mean, like, when they get the all the girls there, and they're like, oh, well, she's got polio, so she can't really walk up the stairs. The dad, once again, barely saying anything, just flicks a switch, and like this mechanical chair just like slowly comes down. He goes, I installed it for my wife, but she doesn't really use it anymore. Flip that switch, go up. Flip that switch, go down. But it only works if you have the seatbelt buckled. And like the moment he said that, I was like, so there's gonna be a scene where she's at the top of the stairs, she has to get down, so she has to then summon the chair, wait for the chair to get in there. She gets in there, she's gotta try and flip the switch, but it won't move. And then she remembers she's gotta like buckle the seatbelt, and then she's gotta struggle with the seatbelt for a while, and then it's gonna be the slow ass going down of it, getting away from the monster. That exact thing happens. Like, the moment he explained all those rules, I was like, I know the damn scare that you are setting up. The exact thing happens in here. Or it's like, you know, there's a scarecrow that they find in the barn, and they're just like, oh, it looks creepy, it looks like it's real. Oh, it's like, well, that scarecrow's gonna murder someone. Got it. And it's like, yep, that scarecrow comes to life later on in this film. However, even though this thing sets up every freaking scare in this movie, still pretty damn good. The scares in this film are shot well enough. And I was like, damn, this is actually really fucking impressive. And a lot of that is because, yeah, they shoot every single scene really well. Like, this film does one of the best examples I've seen of that rule of it's scarier what you don't see. Mm-hmm. Like, I am so fucking sick. Like, I always hated, like, the torture porn films. Yeah. Because it's like, dude, me just seeing somebody, like, hack their own legs off or, like, have their head explode, like, that's not frightening to me. It's just gross. Yeah. Like, it doesn't work on me. But there's, like, there is a couple of amazing shots in here where you barely see, like, a hint of something. and like just a hint of what you see is creepy. Like there is a moment in here, like the scare with the scarecrow. The person gets trapped in the barn with the scarecrow, and there's like 3 light bulbs on in the barn, and suddenly you see like one of the light bulbs start unturning itself.
Oh.
Yeah, like they start something, and as it's unturning, it starts flickering, and then you start seeing the scarecrow like jerk and move to life, and then one of the scarecrow's hands burst off, and like this big like red and like black furry clawed hand comes out of it, and it looks like a glove you could have bought at like Halloween Express. It looks like a werewolf costume claw because it looks rubbery. The fur looks fake. However, it goes by so fast, and it's done in such a good moment. It's like, yeah, man, it works. Like if you focused on it, it would look lame, but because it goes by so quickly, I can tell it's cheap. But it works the way you shoot it.
Yeah, also, it's a scarecrow. It's made of, like, cheap parts anyhow.
Well, I mean, like, the claw that comes out is, like, actually supposed to be a thing. Like, the claw that comes out is, like, it's a black, like, clawed... Like I said, it looks like a werewolf hand. But like I said, the light starts turning out, so it, like, starts dimming quicker and quicker. And then eventually it falls out, so there's less light in there. But then, like, the second hand comes out, and it's also this black clawed thing. And then it starts grabbing at its straw face and starts ripping it apart. And then you see, like, a row of razor-sharp, like, yellow teeth inside. Again, it looks like a werewolf mask from, like, Halloween Express. But because of, like, how they're shooting it, it works. It absolutely works. And then that light bulb falls out as well. So now that entire area is totally dark. So you don't see what the actual face underneath looks like. You just saw that one row of teeth as it was being ripped off. Bam, it's all in shadows. Yeah, that is the perfect example of it's scarier what you don't see. This is one of those few movies that's still like following that rule. And there's so many times in this film where it's like, yeah, something will be in the shadows, or like, you know, you will just see the creepy girl there off in the distance, and it's like, okay, she's coming at me, but I don't know what she's gonna do. Like it handles that so freaking well. But another thing that this film does incredibly well that. Honestly, I was listening to a podcast recently about horror films that help change the film industry. Like they just list off a couple of really big films and how they had an impact, like how they did things that films just didn't do back then. The podcast was called Things You Should Know, and it was like from 2 months ago, if you guys want to check it out. But one of the things they listed off was Psycho, and they mentioned that one of the big things with Psycho was that, yeah, they just kill off the protagonist halfway through that film. And that was the thing you did not do in a movie. You still never really do it.
Yeah. Halfway
through this film, the girl we've been following the whole time, the girl with polio, the girl who, like, you think, okay, she's going to, like, she's the only one seeing the creepy doll. She's the only one seeing the ghost girl. She's the only one experiencing this stuff. So clearly, it's going to, like, keep chasing her down, but it's going to, like, slowly start picking other people off, and she's gonna be trying to convince them, and no one will listen, and then it's gonna come down to, it's like, oh, will she be able to escape from this house in time? Oh, no! And it's like, she'll be like the last one left alive. Halfway through this movie, she just gets taken out. I was like, holy shit! Was not expecting that. Like, halfway through this movie, like I said, it's that segment in which she's going down the chair, and it's everything that I said was gonna happen. She gets so close to the bottom of the stairs, then all of a sudden the chair stops and starts going back up the stairs. I didn't expect that. Like I said, I called everything that was going to happen with that chair. Not that. Well done, movie. Well done. And just now, like, she's stuck in the chair. She can't get out, but she's trying to grab onto the banister, but it just keeps pulling her up. And yeah, you just see Annabelle just standing there at the top of the stairs as it, like, gets closer to her. And Annabelle just turns into a giant puff of black smoke. And when she gets up there to the top of the stairs, she's just like, where'd she go? What happened? Then she just gets, like, Batman out of there. Like, she just gets grabbed and yanked out of the screen. Then you see her just get dropped down to, like, 2 flights of stairs. And when she pops up next, she's now in a wheelchair. It's been, like, days later. She had to go to the hospital, and she's in a wheelchair. And I was like, okay, so the rest of the film is going to be her trying to, like, survive in this house, in this wheelchair, because, like, she already could barely use her legs. Now she can't use them at all. Oh, my goodness, is she going to be able to survive this? That lasts for maybe 10 minutes, when all of a sudden that wheelchair just gets zipped into the barn, the Annabelle ghost shows up, vomits into her mouth, and then she's like, oh, I'm perfectly fine now. Yeah, she's Annabelle. She has now become Annabelle. It's like, you were the protagonist. That was, yeah, like, I was genuinely shocked that they pulled that shit. Like, that was, like I said, there was some shockingly spoilery stuff in this film. This movie has some fucking balls to pull something like that. So yeah, I am really damn impressed that they did that. And like I said, thing that this film does amazingly. I'm not going to go through and describe every single scare in here because it's not nearly as effective as it would be seeing it. So yeah, if you've already seen the film, you guys know what the scares are. But like, there's no point in me really explaining them. But like I said, a perfect example of like it's what you don't see compared to what you do. There is a moment in which the dad has realized the doll has come back to life. Like they reveal, like, yeah, they tried to bring their daughter back to life, and they started seeing like her and hearing her in the house again, and they got like they realized that, oh, it was asking for permission to move into one of the dolls that my husband created. So we gave it permission, but then we realized it wasn't our daughter. It was something evil that tricked us into summoning it so that it could have access to our world. And yeah, before anybody asks, well, what the hell do they do with the doll then? They got a team of priests to come in, and they couldn't destroy the doll, which seems like you should be able to just burn it. That's the one thing that always gets me about like the killer doll thing is like, so there's an evil spirit in the doll. What happens if you just destroy the doll? Like, does the evil spirit release? Is that why you can't destroy it? But basically, they just put her in this closet and covered the walls in religious text. Like pages of the Bible they ripped off and glued to the walls, and then put the doll in there. So it was trapped in there, but this doll tricked the girls into opening the door. But basically, there's a moment which the dad realizes that the doll has come back to life, and he walks into the house, and instantly the doll is sitting there at the dining room table, and he goes up and is like, Annabelle, you shouldn't be here. And then he turns around and he sees the little girl who's now possessed by Annabelle. She gets up and walks out of her chair, and then she slowly walks away from the dad, and the hallway goes completely black, and all you see are her eyes, but then the eyes go from down here to up here. And I was like, that's pretty damn good. That's really damn good. And they do a couple other things like that. Like there's a moment which you see like the flashback of like how the mom got injured. Like basically half her face got ripped off by this demon. And she actually wears a mask over that half of the face that looks like a porcelain doll mask. It's pretty damn creepy. Like this was a house made by a doll guy. By a guy who makes dolls, so everything kind of looks like dolls in here. So I was like, God damn, man, you really knew where to set this. Like, this actually, I didn't look at this and ever once go, why the hell would you buy a creepy-ass doll like this? Like, that was always my problem with the Annabelle doll in the first place. Like, no one would own this fucking thing. It looks too horrifying to begin with. He made this thing and it just kind of turned horrifying. It's like, okay, that's why he stuck with it. And pretty much all old-timey dolls are creepy as shit. Yeah. I don't know how it was for you, like, but I think everybody out there at some point in time, you had to go to your grandma's house and spend the night there, and everybody out there had at least one grandma who had a creepy-ass doll collection, and she kept it in the room that I always had to sleep in when I went to my grandma's house. I had such trouble always getting to bed at night. Like, I was always convinced those things were going to come to life and just choke me out in the middle of the night. Okay, had to check the time there, but got too caught up in talking about creepy ass dolls. But yeah, so yeah, this thing, at no point do I look at this thing and go, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? It's all pretty good. It's all like, yeah, it's like, okay, I understand why the house is like this. I was wondering why on earth they would invite these children into this house when they know that there's an evil demon doll in the ceiling, but at one point the mom actually explains, oh, well, we realized we had created a great sin, so we thought if we turn this house into something good, that would be our penance, that would make up for it. And I was like, all right, you know what? You're a very religious family, and you basically just invited Satan into your house. I can understand your line of thinking where you're like, we have to now turn the house into something good for the Lord to counteract it. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. Because that was my one big thing throughout this whole film. Was like, why the fuck would you do this? Like, that would be almost like if you're like, oh, I have a dog with rabies. Why don't I just turn this entire house into a cat sanctuary? It's like, oh my god. But yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. And like, in your mind, the doll is completely locked up and you think you'll be fine, but it's like, yeah, horror films didn't exist in the 1930s. You don't know the rules. I get it, fine. So yeah, really, my only problems with this thing are that the girls themselves are non-existent or not very good. So I'll say that. And I did have a couple of other complaints, but I'll be honest, like, it took me an hour to get home. In that hour, I've forgotten most of those other complaints. Let me see, anything else I want to say? I will also say, I did have one problem with this. There is an awesome moment when the girl possessed by Annabelle, she's at that point where she's just like, nah, man, it's over. It's done. I'm gonna take all you motherfuckers out. Like, it's the night where she is just going ham on all of them. Like, she already killed the dad, then she kills the mom by ripping her in half and just crucifying her up there. It's like, holy shit, she ain't messing around. Which, the complaint I heard everybody make about the last Annabelle film, again, I didn't see it, but the complaint I heard everybody make was, Annabelle doesn't do shit. Annabelle just sits there and stares and creeps people out. If that was the complaint from the last film, they took some notes on this one. Because Annabelle don't play in this film. I kept wanting to go up and go out and get a soda at some point because I was real thirsty. But I was like, Annabelle just doesn't let up in this film. Annabelle is fucking them up at every single moment that they are alone. But at the end of this, like, the nun is trying to protect, like, the 4 little girls who are remaining. And she's like, no, stay away. And Annabelle just goes, and lifts her up off the ground and slams her into a window. And then she shows back up then at the very end when the little too cutesy girl is about to be killed by her. She then shows up at the very end after that happens, and she looks totally fine. She doesn't look like anything happens. Like, you gotta give me some cuts. You gotta give me some scrapes. And then the possessed girl turns around and tries to stab her, and then she has her, like, stab the doll instead. Then she takes out her little beaded rosary thing, the beaded cross.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
The rosaries.
Thank you. She's here for reference on this. She takes it out, and then, like, in a Black Widow move, spins it around her arms to tie her up and throws her back in the closet with, like, all the holy scriptures. I was like, that seems way more badass than anything I had seen from you up till this point. That seemed kind of odd. So then at the end, when I saw they were creating a cinematic universe, I was like, this is your fucking Black Widow, isn't it? This is the lady who you're like, oh, she's gonna be the badass who takes out. She's going back to her old nurse camp. She's going back to nurse camp, and she is gonna mess up that demon she saw in that picture. I was like, is this really happening? What? It's like, okay, sure. Like, it was just such a weird thing to just have happen there, because, like, it is like a kung fu move, and you haven't seen shit from her like that throughout the whole film. It was like, where the fuck did that come from? So that's a little bit weird. Also, I will say, Annabelle, when she starts going ham, when she gets to that point where she's like, nah, time to fuck up everything, she's a little OP. Like, I do have to say, she needs to be nerfed a little bit in this film. Because one of the things is, like, I get that, you know, the fear of having, like, a demon, because it's, like, it's so powerful. But there is a moment in which, but Annabelle, when she starts going up, she's fucking everywhere. Like, you cannot escape her. Because there's a moment in which there's 4 girls out in the barn being tortured by a scarecrow with the demon inside, while inside the too cutesy girl is discovering some weird basement loaded with crosses, which it's odd that never gets explained. But I kind of like that because it kind of leads you to kind of go, oh shit, what the fuck were they doing down there? I would have liked if we could have seen a little bit more of that room though, because it's like, it's one quick like glance around and I'm like, what the fuck was that? But like, when she's down there, while they're being chased by the Scarecrow Demon, another demon pops up down there trying to claw at her, and then she gets back up and she has to go and hide in the doll's room, and she hides in the closet, and then she turns around and guess what? Annabelle has reappeared in the closet in doll form, while outside Possessed Girl by Annabelle is walking around. I was like, okay, you have to give us the idea, that feeling that you can escape the demon, because then there's that tension of, oh, am I going to be able to escape the demon? Mm-hmm. If the demon is everywhere at once, that means you can't escape it, and there's no chance of escaping. It does cut down on the tension of feeling like, is it possible for me to survive?
It honestly sounds like there's multiple demons.
That's what I was saying, is like, okay, so are there like 9 Annabelles inside of her or something?
It's like, hey, you invited me in, let me invite all my friends in too.
Ain't that just like a demon? You let one of them in, and they're just like, oh, trust me, man, is it cool if I just let my friend in? Trust me, it's just one guy, he's gonna be okay. Then you come on home, and he's got 12 friends on the couch, and they're all getting Cheeto dust everywhere. Oh, you demons. So yeah, those were my 2 big complaints. Like, Annabelle was a little OP. Like, I dug everything she was doing in this, but it didn't give me that feeling like there was a chance of survival. Like, it felt like if there was a chance of survival, it's just because Annabelle was just like, whatever. I'm too busy doing this. Plus, as I said, the girls kind of are not good in this. But aside from that, this is actually also the dad. The whole, like, mislead of, is he going to be a serial killer? None of us bought that for a second. But the scares are really damn good in this thing. Like, I gotta admit, this is a well-made horror film. It's kind of like, I haven't seen either of the 2 Ouija movies, because I knew the first one was going to be garbage. And everybody kept telling me, yeah, but the second one is really damn good. And I was like, no way in hell do I believe that for a second.
Well, after this.
But then it turned out it actually was really good. And I kind of wish that I had seen it. Yeah, this is kind of like that. Because, yeah, everybody told me the first Annabelle film was absolute garbage. And I kind of do want to go and watch it now. Because this one is really damn good. It kind of makes me want to go, well, what the fuck is that thing that happens there at the end? Like, I'd like to be able to get some kind of connection to that. But yeah, I just cannot believe that they have turned The Conjuring not only into its own franchise and a spin-off franchise, but they are going to make it a cinematic universe where, like, everything that was in their museum there basically gets its own movie. And I'm kind of excited for it because this movie was good. The 2 Conjuring films have been good, so hey man, even if that first Annabelle film did suck, you're batting 3 out of 4, which is better than most cinematic universes out there, so goddamn, I cannot believe it. But yeah, I'm really impressed by this, and I just have to reiterate, Universal Studios, get your ass in gear on this whole shared monster universe thing. Like, the fucking Conjuring guys have shown you up at what your studio invented. So, yeah, I am just really damn impressed by this. I think I might watch this again at Halloween. Like, I did not say most of the scares in this film. Like, I only talked about, like, maybe, like, a third of all the little, like, scary moments in here. And there are some other damn good ones in here. So, yeah, I definitely think I want to get it again. I would be really interested in seeing what you think about it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys saw it, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this film. This actually has been, I still have not seen Get Out because it literally just kept selling out in my neighborhood. Like, yeah, we have mentioned numerous times on here that the only theater close to where we live is the UA Court Street Theater. It sucks ass, and one of the reasons it sucks ass is because it's the only theater in, like, this huge part of Brooklyn that we live in. Like, you have to go a long-ass distance to get to the next theater over. So it's basically the entire community of Brooklyn has to go to this one theater. So, yeah, this one, it literally stayed at that theater longer than almost any theater in America. Like, I remember looking on Box Office Mojo and seeing how few theaters left in America it was still in. And I was like, holy shit, ours is like one of a dozen that it's still playing on. And it would still just be sold out there every time I went. So eventually it got to a point, like, it was still playing there even when it came out on DVD. And so eventually it got to a point which I went, you know what, I'm not going to see it in theaters. I'm gonna save it for October, because then when I do Thorgy and I talk about horror films, I can do a post-Geekout reaction for it then. So I still have not seen that. However, between this and that new Stephen King It film is looking pretty damn good to me. This was like a pretty damn good year for horror films. I feel like there's one up for game. Like, I feel like there was another really good horror film that came out this year that I've totally forgotten. But anyway, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this. And if you guys want to see other reviews from us or more post-Geekout reaction spoiler talks, we do these on the weekends. So make sure that you click that subscribe button and come back next time. Bye.